Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. A much-needed goal, a much-needed win for United. Top 4 looking not safe by any means, but slightly more comfortable than it felt before kick-off. I'm joined by Nathan Ellington, obviously scorer of many goals in the Football League, played in the Premier League, played against Man United at Old Trafford. How did you find that game, obviously, as a United fan, watching that, knowing how big it was for United, knowing, obviously, they wouldn't have known, but Newcastle's winning 5-1 as well in the meantime. That was a massive win for United tonight, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a relief that we've managed to get the win after a run of bad results. I'd say we've had quite a few bad results of late, and to get the 1-0, a clean sheet, is a step forward in the right direction to get back on track. Because look, we were clear for a short period ago. We were clear in third position. Now we're in fourth now, I think, and Newcastle ahead of us on major amounts of goals ahead of us, goal difference. So
21 goal difference better than ours.
Exactly. So we need to get more wins than them. We need more points on the board, and this goes a long way. We need to do whatever we can to get maximum points while Casemiro is out. When he comes back in, we will be a different kettle of fish, and we'll be much harder to beat, and we'll be scoring much more goals. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's obviously huge, isn't it? It's almost like, it's a shame really that United have to be. We've got two modes. We've got what we're like when Casemiro's playing and what we're like when he isn't playing. And like you said, one is we're thriving, we're going for it, we're taking teams on, we're beating City, we're beating Arsenal. I know he didn't play in that game, but it feels as though we can beat any team. We beat Barcelona over 2 legs. Yep. And then when he's not playing, like you said, it's like survival mode almost. Today at least, possession-wise, we'll look at some of the stats in a minute. I think for most of that game today, United actually controlled it, which we don't often say when, like I said, Casemiro isn't in there, especially Eriksen as well. I thought it was actually quite a good performance today.
Yeah, it was not bad. It was not bad. It wasn't like anything boring. It was just a touch above that level, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Just a touch above standard, where you can say, you know what, I didn't waste my time watching today. I felt like it was okay. I enjoyed it enough that I didn't, some games you sit there and you think, man, I just wish I should have done something else with my day. Like the Newcastle game. This game today, we're happy we got the points. Yeah. The boys will be happy. They've created enough chances to score. They've kept the ball, as you say, we've totally dominated possession. Yeah. Dominated shots, but not enough shots on target. There's still a lot to work on. Gaffer's going to be happy. Ten Hag is going to be like, look, we've got the 3 points. We've got the clean sheet, what really matters most. But look, we need to be better than that. We still need to be better than that to be able to compete. You come up against the big boys, you know what we have to do with. And we have got some big games coming up. Brighton is no joke. And even Europa's no joke. We can't play this type of performance to beat those teams. Yeah. So we still have a few steps to go. Yeah. But we're in the right direction again, at least. Yeah,
a big step, obviously, is the fact that we rely on Marcus Rashford to score everything. And that's still the case. And he didn't score for 3 or 4 games in a row before this, and we just didn't win. Like, that's something that, obviously, it's great to have a player and a focal point, and most of the great teams ever have a top scorer, and it's usually by 5 or 10 before the next, but it shouldn't be 20 more than the next person. And I think at this point, United's second top scorer is
Bruno, isn't it?
I think it's Bruno Fernandes. He's got 10 now. Yeah. So Marcus Rashford has got 18 goals more than the next highest. That isn't good, is it? It's all well and good him scoring 30 goals this season, which it looks like he will. He's never done that before. Yeah. On 28 now, as you've said. But then number 2 has to have 21 or 17, 18, 19. It's 10 and then it's 7 and 6 and 6. Like that over-reliance on Rashford is still there, isn't it? Does that worry you?
Yeah, of course. But it's the circumstances of this season as well. When you think about it, you don't normally have... Remember, at the start of the season... Oh, well, what was it? I don't even know when it was, but I'm sure we had Martial, who was actually available. Yep. Greenwood was available. Rashford was available. We had Cristiano. We had Cavani. We had all
last season.
Yeah. So then when we come from then and then coming into this season, you're like, right, we still got a few players. And then all of a sudden, Martial's out completely. Yeah. And then you haven't really got anyone else who's going to come in. Cavani leaves. Cristiano's out. Yeah. See you later. And then we're like, okay, we've got nothing. What are we going to do? So that worried me, but not... It's not like we've got all these players who were playing and we still got that kind of results. Yeah. Rashford on 27. So for me, I'm not too worried about that unless that happens, to be fair. Yeah. And I believe Martial will get goals if he's playing. I still believe we need more than him, of course. But if he's fit now and he can stay fit, I think we'll have much more chances created. As you saw, how much link-up play, nice little 1-2s, popping, moving, and then you add Sancho to that mix. He loves that kind of football.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I've been saying about someone that everybody's already said goodbye, we don't want him. Donny van der Beek has that kind of football in him. When he's on the ball, he has that. I think what he's not great at is the defensive side.
Yeah.
But when he's on the ball, he's an intelligent player. Same as what Mata had. Them kind of players have that intelligence about them, which makes you be able to open things up. And I think when Martial plays with Rashford, who plays with Sancho, you start seeing that happening. And I think if Anthony can get in the mix and we can get Garnacho back, and remember, Eriksen is coming back.
Yeah.
So we now...
next week, hopefully.
Casemiro back, Eriksen back.
Yeah.
Maybe Garnacho before the end of the season, you never know. But if... Maybe he's not coming back this season, I'm not sure.
It'll be close, I think.
Yeah. But when you got those boys back, we starting looking a team again. And we'll start creating more chances again for everyone.
Yeah.
And like you say, when we saw McTominay running with it today and then passing it late and then closing up the space, those other players understand that passing it late, what it's going to do to Anthony. Anthony wants it with space. So Eriksen will give it to him quickly with space. How do you think that goal happened against Arsenal? The ball round the corner straight away, ball straight from Bruno to Rashford, Rashford straight to Anthony. And that quick play, one touch, leaves Anthony open. And that's what happens.
Yeah, if Rashford had have got that ball, ran towards Anthony and laid it off, he'd have two defenders on him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because, you know, it is a worry that only Rashford is scoring, but we've only got Rashford up front. Yeah. Like, obviously, no offence to Weghorst, but he's not a prolific goal scorer. He's not quite at the level that United need him to be. Certainly, you know, long term, he's done a decent job as a lone player, but... If Martial had been playing all season and he'd still only got 6 goals, you know, that would be the worry, wouldn't it? And like I said, hopefully there's a Kane or Osimhen or someone else shaped hole in the front that when that gets filled, hopefully we can, you know, stop relying on Marcus so much. The league table still doesn't make great reading. That's just one thing I wanted to go over a little bit is we've got Arsenal obviously at the top, City, you know. Then you've got Newcastle on 53 points. 28 games played. United 53 points, 28 games played. But we might as well be on 52.5 points because there's no way we can take the lead, you know, whilst we're on the same points as Newcastle. So we're slightly behind there. But then you got that drop off now. 3 points clear of Tottenham with United still having a game in hand. That could go up to 6. They haven't got a permanent manager. You know, you keep going further down. Obviously, Brighton, they're maybe the bigger worry because they've got a game in hand on us, and they are currently 7 points behind, so that could go down to 4. And then you've got Villa creeping ahead of Liverpool now too. So to me, it's Tottenham and Brighton that are the big concerns there. I don't see Villa pushing for top 4. They've played 2 games more than Brighton as well. But Tottenham are in a transition period now. Who knows which way that could go? They might win, you know, 8 of their last 9 with a new manager. They might win 2 of their last 9. United really have to cement that top 4 place, don't they?
Yeah. Look, Tottenham, I think their personnel won't allow them to be able to do that. I think defensively they're going to concede goals. I think that's what's been happening with them. They can score, but they're just never going to shut the back door enough to be able to go on a run of winning all these games. So they're going to struggle. Brighton are the team that I'm now thinking, if they're within 4 and then we play them, that game means a lot.
Yep.
You know, so that's a major game now. I'm now want to look at Newcastle's running and see who they've got and who they could potentially lose points to. Yeah. Because we need to get more points than the Newcastle get. Well, at the end of the day, it's 3rd or 4th, isn't it? We can do 3rd or 4th. You can still going to get Champions League. Yeah. So that's not a problem. But as long as we're on the same, at least the same as Newcastle, I'm happy. But the thing is, again, like we're saying here, when you look at all those teams that are in and around it, who's getting stronger in the squad players? Who's coming back? We've got players coming back now, and we're going to be the stronger outlook now. We're going to go into them Brighton game going, right, we're favourite now. Not if Casemiro, just Casemiro, if he's not playing, I'm like, I'm scared. Yeah. Casemiro's playing. The other boys, everything changes. Yeah. So one player can make a massive difference to everything on the pitch, and he's one of them.
And hopefully as well, and obviously this is, you know, very much looking at the silver lining, but Casemiro's will have, I know he'll have played the odd international game and Europa League game.
Good
but
rest.
he's had a good rest. Like he's coming into the last 7-8 games of the season fully rested, you'd hope, wouldn't you? So that's obviously a big thing as well. Just looking at the sort of manager situation again, obviously Chelsea looking for a new manager, Tottenham looking for a new manager, Liverpool's manager situation, obviously I don't think Klopp will leave there, but there's a sort of fatigue seemingly going on there. Basically, Adam McCullough's been speaking to Last Fan Standing, and they've been talking about managers, comparing your Guardiolas with your Sir Alex Ferguson. People want to do this. Just watch this, and we'll talk about it afterwards. Cool.
Is it crazy to suggest that Pep Guardiola is as good or better than Alex Ferguson? Is that crazy?
Personally, in my opinion, yes. Look, I think he's a phenomenal coach, and he might coach the best football we've ever seen. I think there's an argument for that. But in terms of what Fergie did, even if you look at what Fergie did before Manchester United at Aberdeen, like I couldn't see Pep competing with City the way Klopp did with a Liverpool team that had the players and the budget that they did. And I know they spent a lot of money at various points, but like I just think Fergie got more out of less, a lot more. And the consistency and the longevity is obviously amazing. Look, Pep will go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time, but Fergie's still ahead of him by a long shot for me.
I was expecting more vitriol there. That was quite measured. I
don't need to, because it's ridiculous to disregard what Pep has done in the game. Like when you look at what he's done at Barcelona, done really well at Bayern Munich. You know, the legacy he's kind of created at City as well. No one expected him to stay this long. I don't think. We kind of thought maybe 2-3 years and then he'll bounce.
Yep.
And if he does add the European Cup to, you know, his achievements at City as well, I think that'll go a long way towards doing what he's doing. But there's so many great managers over the years, Mourinho, you know, Klopp, Pep. I don't think any of them come close to Fergie.
Podge.
So that was Adam McCullough speaking to Last Fan Standing there, talking about, I mean, they're trying to force this Pep, so it's just very quickly, because I want to broaden this manager debate out a little bit. Pep isn't close to Sir Alex, is he? Come on.
No chance.
No one's saying that.
Go on. Win a Champions League, please.
Yeah.
And then start talking to me, and win a few of them.
Yeah.
You know, go and win it with Man City.
Yeah.
Go and win the Champions League, the League, and the FA Cup, the 3 big cups. Go and do it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's too hard to do. And throughout the generations, playing against the Arsenals of this world, you know, that big rivalry, and then winning it, but then having to change his whole squad and then win it again, then change his squad again, then win it again. You can't. He knows what he's doing, and he goes down as the greatest manager for me of all time. I don't know any other manager. Aberdeen, he's won there. Where who wins the league in Scotland?
Rangers or Celtic.
Yeah, and then he goes and wins it there, and then comes to United and goes and says, you know what, this team ain't been winning. Let's go and win it. Let's go and win the Premier League, and let's go continue winning the Premier League.
Yeah, Pep's done well, but everywhere he's been, he's picked up the
best
successful
of the best.
reins of another manager or another system or whatever. Yeah. And to keep teams as good as he has is impressive and amazing, and he's the best of his generation. But Sir Alex has come in, picked up teams that were broken or needed rebuilding or needed fixing, picked them up and then kept them at that level. That is unprecedented and, you know, amazing. Just on the manager situation, I think this might play into this Final Four situation a little bit. We mentioned obviously Tottenham, but then you look at Eddie Howe at Newcastle. What does the manager sort of bring to the dressing room in those final weeks of the season when everything is so important? You've got Ten Hag at United, you've got De Zerbi at Brighton. Again, I'm not going to push as far as Villa because I don't think they've got a chance. Do you think that Ten Hag, first of all, he's won a trophy with this club. Neither of those two managers have done that at their club. He's also used to winning leagues and keeping a team at that level to win, you know, titles, not just top fours. We don't know who's going to come in at Tottenham yet, but Eddie Howe's never done that. De Zerbi's never done that. Do you think that that's going to bring a lot, you know, in terms of helping United get over the line in these last few weeks?
Yeah, I think definitely for United, we've seen the change of mentality and what he keeps demanding from the team. And I think we only saw a drop-off in that mentality. But I don't think it's even a drop-off in mentality. Like I said, sometimes it's sheer ability to be able to actually do that job.
Yeah.
And when you know that there's something missing, I don't think mentality's changed. I think that we've just lost a player that is the vital part to what we do. And having that back and having the manager there, making sure that everything's still ticking over as it should be, I think Ten Hag is well placed to be that man. But I think Newcastle, they're doing something right now and they're making moves. And I think we were saying last year, once they had the takeover and Eddie Howe comes in and that team just bought these certain players, they're going to be buying like crazy next year. They're not going to mess about. Yeah. We've got them in our sights now. And we've got to be ahead of them. Yeah. If we get a takeover, we'll have the similar kind of money, but a better manager who's been there and done it. Can we now stay ahead of the Newcastles of this world? Because we don't want to be fourth, and all the time, be that fourth best team in the league. Yeah. And you look at the other teams. Okay, Brighton, they're who they are. They're not at the level we are in terms of when you look at the players on paper. No. It's not about that. No. But each manager is great in their own right. But as you see, how far can each manager take each team? And I think United currently, right now, have the ability to be the one that can push the furthest. Yeah. And even when you look at Liverpool, they've got the same mentality, but they just don't have the ability anymore.
They don't have the players, do they?
The ability's gone. Yeah. Like some of the players are getting slightly older. Some of the players are just no longer like.
And also, they've not replaced as well as they could have either. They've got no one as close to Mane or Wijnaldum or make sure you check out Last Fan Standing. The link to that is in the description in the comments as well. Yeah, so make sure you let them know that Stretford Paddock sent you when you head over there. We've got a few super chats, and then we're going to get into the match ratings. Make sure you head over to matchratings.io. By the way, we're going to be doing this after games. You can join the Stretford Paddock supporters group, give your match ratings for every player, and we'll go through them in the review and just have a little conversation, basically, who you thought was man of the match, who you thought wasn't so good. We'll head over to that in a minute and get your ratings in now if you haven't done that already. Zed through music says, looked much better than we did last match, definitely. Jash says, Sancho or Anthony need to start contributing more. Yeah. Brian Kevill says, Sancho is not United quality. All these Dortmund players have proven they are not PL standard. Kagawa, Mkhitaryan, Sancho, all player of the year at Dortmund. Have we not learned yet? But then Haaland comes in and you've got to rethink everything. Danny says, Brentford don't play out better than United. Their proactive press closes the ball and options before the pass. United receive the press and allows 2 seconds United's reactive press allows 2 seconds for the pass. Interesting. Although we held the ball better than they did today. So, we're obviously doing something okay in possession and with the press. Let's move over to those match ratings then. So here's the voting tonight from the Stretford Paddock supporters group. We're just looking here at David De Gea 6.6, Shaw 6.1, obviously got substituted. Dallo 6.2, some of the lower ratings. Anthony and Sancho 6.3, 6.4.
Right.
The standout players then. You got Rashford, who's given man of the match 8, which I think is slightly kind. I thought he was okay, but it's just a goal. No. Yeah. Obviously, that gives you a bit of weight in. But the two players who I think were, for me, United's best players were Martinez, and for me, the standout was Bruno Fernandes, who, again, all three of them, 7.8, 7.9, 8. They were, basically everyone agrees, United's best players. Bruno in particular I want to talk about because, once again, he's asked to play a different role, which, basically it's just him and the team that's doing that at the minute, isn't it? Where 1 minute he's a number 6, 1 minute he's a number 8, then he's a 10, then he's on the left wing, then he's on the right wing. I know Rashford's played a little bit across the front three, but Bruno is basically the utility man. Yeah. And I thought tonight, all the things that we can criticise Bruno for of being wasteful, of trying too much, of losing his head, I thought we saw almost none of that. And we saw so many incisive passes, breaking the lines, finding the run, finding the pass, over his shoulder, flicked around the corner. I thought we saw Bruno almost at his best tonight, did you?
Definitely. It seems like Eriksen and Bruno look better dropping into that 8 position. But he's it's like he instantly matures a bit more. The minute he goes into that deeper role, he can see a lot more and he can obviously find the balls. So in them positions, your job is really to see more open chances anyway. So for him, it's just like second nature for him, isn't it? To see someone running and going, yep, there you go, and there you go. So, and then, like I say, when he's that position, he knows if he loses the ball there, the chances are they're going to come off with a chance or something. So he can't afford to lose the ball in them areas. He did lose it there once, but apart from that, he was pretty much solid.
Yeah. It's almost like that pressure, like you said, of knowing he can't lose it, he can't take risks, that makes him just do
the right thing.
Yeah, it's like once you force him to do it, he can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sabitzer, people mentioning McTominay. A lot of people shouting for Sabitzer and McTominay. I thought they were both okay. Both did their thing. That I thought Sabitzer was excellent for United's goal. That little nod down, lovely bit of sort of smartness really there from Sabitzer, wasn't there? But I thought, Fernandes and in particular in that different role, playing deep alongside McTominay. A lot of time he was deeper than McTominay, wasn't he? Playing that little quarterback role. I thought it was really good. Just quickly then before we go, looking forward, Everton at the weekend, at home again at Old Trafford, 12:30 kickoff. Is that the sort of fixture that United, if you're a United player now, bad few results behind us, decent comfortable win tonight, then you're playing against Everton. You don't really know what you're going to get with Everton because it's a new team now. They work harder, they fight harder. That draw that they got against Tottenham would have felt like a win after they were down to 10 men.
Yeah.
The 16th in the league, they're on the same points, only out of the bottom three by goal difference. Do you think that's going to be like a walk in the park, or are you expecting an absolute sort of mad fight against Sean Dyche's Everton?
It's always going to be a mad fight against a Sean Dyche team. But remember, I was watching Rio, and he was saying he used to talk to the players and say, new players that come and go, make sure you're ready for this game. Yeah. We're playing this team. You got your Stokes, you're that team, you're this team. Your Newcastle's away, you're that away. Everton's one of them games where you can't just turn up and think you're going to win. You need to come in and you need to be ready for that game to make it an easy game.
Yeah.
You have to be ready and on it. Just like they were today, we need to grind another result out and everybody needs to realise they're not just at the bottom of the table and you go, they're at the bottom, we can beat these.
Yeah.
We ain't got all our boys right now.
Yeah.
We need to put in another performance like this and have the same mentality going into that game. Win the game, get it out the way, so then we can get back to playing football again with all our full team. That's all I just can't wait. If I was in that changing room, I'd be sitting there saying, one more game, boys. One more game. Hey, Cass, hurry up, lad.
This is the last one.
Yeah, it's the last one, lad.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you back.
Yeah.
But we'll do it for you. We'll do it. And it's like, get together, lads. This is the 3 points we need to then kick on. And once we do that, I really feel like I'll be kind of more relaxed.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be more relaxed and play better football for it.
Yeah.
Not just like tense. It's kind of tense at the moment. I don't like the feeling.
No. Yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like we've got the sort of the top 4 fight, that's on the stove, but that's just bubbling away. We've got these, we've got the Europa League steak here, we've got the asparagus here, we've got the toasters in the oven, like all these things that could burn.
Yeah.
We've got to keep a big focus on these, on the League Cup, on the FA Cup and the Europa League. You don't want the top 4 to be bubbling over as well. We want to keep that kind of, we're not going to win anything in the league, but let's not go into the last day or the last 3 weeks needing to win 3 games to stay top 4, because we need to put our focus now really on winning a few more trophies. So yeah, I think full focus for that Everton game, and hopefully kind of get a little bit of distance between us and Brighton and Tottenham. But right, that's going to be us today. Thank you for joining us. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Nathan, cheers again for coming on. Have you got your YouTube channel to plug? Anything you want to tell
just
people
Dukes
about?
United show. I cover all the matches, the previews and the post-match reactions. So yeah, that's what I cover all the time.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, check out Dukes United show on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit like. We'll be back tomorrow with the news, with the build-up. We've got another game Saturday, 12:30, as we've just said. So we've got all that coming up. And we'll also have a word from Stephen Howson this evening as well. So check that out in a little bit. We'll see you in a bit.